Welcome back to the Decode podcast here at IPC Apex 2025. We're joined by Denis Barbini from the Technical Solutions Manager, I just commented how much I like that title and I bungled it, from ZESTRON Americas.
What was the title?
Technical Solutions Manager.
Ooh.
Technical Solutions.
So, speaking of technical solutions, that ties in well with kind of our underwhelming theme or overwhelming theme or underlining theme.
That's the underlying.
I was getting there.
Yeah, eventually.
It ties in with our theme for the show, which is problems and solutions. So, without ado, tell us about the problems that your clients or prospects encounter and how you meet them.
All right. Well, so it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. Is this better?
Yeah.
So I'm thankful to be here, to be able to talk to you guys about some of the things that we do at ZESTRON. So ZESTRON, just to start off with, sells cleaning chemistry, but we want to add value to our customers by also providing them with solutions to any part of the assembly process. And even afterwards, if something fails in the field, they can come to us and we can do some root cause analysis to understand why it failed, how it failed, and how to implement a solution to that complex issue. So in terms of the company, we're trying to provide a solution across all fields of assembly. So, my background is focused on chemistry, and I've been all over the world solving problems in factories in Asia, South America, all over Europe, of course the US. Some of the things that I would wanted to share with everybody is that when you look at problems out there, it could be in the board, it could be on a component, it could be the process and the assembly process that may be off, that can cause a problem. So understanding the failures and where it comes from can be a little bit dodgy. So one of the examples I try to give out is you have a problem with a component that doesn't, solder well. Why is it happening? And typically a company has engineers, and their job is to figure it out for their company. They get paid to do that, but sometimes it gets more challenging. Then you bring in suppliers. You bring the component supplier in, and they're saying, okay, well, our component is fine. We spec'd it out. You're doing it. You're using it correctly. It's not our problem.
Not our problem.
Then they go to, say, the paste people. Well, we use your paste. What's going on? They do their analysis. That's not the issue. So they blame somebody else, or they go to somebody else, however you want to do it. And in this case, in real life, they after spending 6 months and probably, hundreds of thousands of dollars in bringing in all these different experts, we were able to take one of their boards and did some destructive analysis in order to find out what it is that was really the issue. And within 1 week, we solved the problem. And it basically was, we did some cross-sectioning, destructive analysis to understand the how the component attaches to the board. And in the board, the way it was designed, some of the traces were right underneath the ball of the BGA. And that basically was like heat sink, and therefore it was not coalescing. So the solution was having the board redesigned so that you didn't have that drain of heat underneath that specific ball. So nobody on the assembly line could really assess that problem because it was buried in the design. So you need to do some other work to figure it out. So those are the types of things that, as ZESTRON, the Technical Solutions, we are focusing on adding value in that way.
Yeah, for me personally, I have experience working with ZESTRON. We started with, I believe it's N95. Is that one of the product lines?
Was that sorry?
N95 or N94?
We have a couple of those. We have 728, 600.
Yeah. So we were using that, and we noticed that
yes,
there was like certain markings getting ripped off on certain resistor bands, right? Then we realized, okay, it's actually because of the component material itself. And then Zestron was like, we recommend you use this pH neutral.
Oh, wow.
Completely went away, right? Because it's a lot harder to inspect a resistor band when it's not on there, right? So, right?
exactly.
Yeah. So it was a necessity, and thank you guys were right there, and you helped us out with that too. And then also we're having an issue sometimes with our flux, right? And then because people sometimes don't give you the full picture, right? He runs into that problem all the time when he's making the stencil. Maybe they just send him a paste file, and if they would have sent him the whole Gerber, he would have a totally different understand. And then so when we say, okay, we have this flux with this chemistry, we'll remove these contaminants, and once we're able to give you that information, and then it's basically at that point, we got the concentration test kit, and it just makes sure your stuff's there, right? And then it kept running smoothly. But like, I can personally attest, and that was Jig Patel. So he was a great help with that communication as far as back and forth. He was exactly like you said. Send me the board. Send me the board. Send me the board. Send me the flux. Send me the paste. Send me the and he just yeah. So and it's kind of nice because they take care of the problem for you in a sense, But it was so thank you for that, by the way.
Oh, no worries. You bring up a very good point. You look at a barcode, right? Like you were just saying, a very simple thing, but yet if it falls off or if it's washed off, it turns into a disaster for the company. And now you don't have traceability. Now you don't understand what that board was already exposed to.
Yeah, you can't track its life cycle. And
I mean, it creates havoc just because you don't have the right cleaning chemistry to make sure that the label stays on.
Right.
It's really interesting to hear that your organization is so involved in kind of root cause analysis. I guess on the surface, it seems like there are plenty of other people that probably should be responsible for tracing a problem back rather than, somebody who's providing the cleaning chemicals.
The chemistry, how are they the ones who figure out that the design like that? That's wild.
It's surprising to learn that that you're so involved in that determination of reliability and initial quality and kind of troubleshooting the issues. That goes beyond what would be my expectation of a cleaning chemical company.
That's how I started out my conversation, is saying we're more than just a cleaning chemistry. We're invested in the success of our customers. So we have the abilities and the capabilities to do that and perform those types of analyses. The other thing I wanted to share is another big thing going in the industry is like EV. So chargers, trying to find a place that actually works. It's very challenging to find. Mm-hmm. And we've gotten the opportunity to look at what's happening, why are chargers not charging. And we found out a lot of, let's say, reasons why they would not be working. And we help customers, and it comes down to ECM. These are open air, depending upon where
all
you
to
are.
the elements.
That could be really hot and humid, or dry and cold, and you're doing thermal cycling, and you see pollution coming in. And when you have a bias combined with humidity plus contamination, you're gonna have problems. Mm-hmm. So we took a customer's issues and we turned them into a solution that they can have a reliable charger. So across the board, I think we focus on being impactful to our customers from the cleaning side, the assembly, and then through their problems.
I mean, to me as a CM, that would give me a lot of confidence that I'm partnering with a company that can help me figure things out. Like that's a pretty strong testament, I'd say.
Yeah, having more tools in the arsenal or more resources outside of your organization, right? I mean, I think that's what makes a really good vendor, is somebody who's going to deliver what you expect and then more in terms of support and help, because most folks are like us, smaller businesses, right? So our resources are limited. So
we don't have a huge engineering team to just dive into issues,
Yeah, so having those outside partnerships are valuable.
And like the first comment, the first example I provided, before you go down 6 months of trying to figure out a problem, maybe reach out to somebody else who might have the abilities to do the right cause analysis.
Yeah, I think that's a great message kind of across the board, right?
Yeah.
Something that we try to encourage is, finding the right resource. And that's been a bit of the charter of our podcast, is providing opportunities for folks to connect. And you don't have to always have the answer, but if you have the name of the person who does, So well, this has been an awesome chat, and I learned a lot about ZESTRON, and you're more than I imagined. So
Yeah.